What's up, everybody? Back again. Here's a video. We're gonna go over gapping these cars. Aftermarket sheet metal always fits pretty much terrible all the time. So I'll kind of show you what to look at, what to look for, how to get set up on doing this stuff. So like on this car, you got to figure out the thickness of the rods that you want to use, the thickness of the edge of the panel. This car is pretty horrible, so I got 3/16 mild steel rods from Home Depot, and I had a double stack them pretty much on both sides. The quarters are in as far as they would go. I clamped them, did as much as I could do to get them absolutely as far in as they would go. And then you can see it's actually the same on both sides. One of these quarters is from Classic, and one of them's from AMD. They both fit absolutely terrible. One of them has a little bit better finish for the E-coat, but other than that, they really fit just as terrible on both of them. This is the passenger side door. So this one I've already started grinding down some of the welds. You can use 36 to kind of rough cut it. Just go slow. Don't try to heat the panel up too much. It's the edge of the door, so it shouldn't warp as easy. Just be mindful. I usually like to use 60 grit. That's like my go-to. 36, the scratches always mars up the metal. It just tears it up. I'm not a big fan of it. But like, you know, get all your panels lined up as best as you can. Split the difference, like on the trunk lid, side to side, as best you can. I know on this one in particular, this trunk lid I had lined up with the original quarters before I took it off. Before I took the quarters off, I had this piece, this panel on. Then I hung the trunk lid, and the trunk lid actually lined up beautifully to the original quarters. This is the show quality trunk lid you can buy from Classic, and it actually, the finish work was nice on it. They ought to just sell like a longer version to go with their quarter panels, because it's a pretty crappy fit. Not to mention the quarter panel, the gap right here is so terrible. It was sticking out a 1/2 inch too long. So I cut a little incision, start bringing it in. I take out a little metal, bring it in until I can get it flush across, and then I can just take weld that, grind it, and nobody will ever know. On this side, see, this is the second attempt making this video. The first attempt, the microphones weren't working again for me like they were on the other channel, so there's something I'm gonna have to resolve. So this one, I did single stack 3/16 all the way, the top part and everything. So this is the big kid block door gap tool. It's a machine made out of steel, mild steel, I guess. And it's got like a little notch in it that you can actually use. So like if you put some Dykem dye on here, that purple stuff, machinist dye, and this gap was like, if I set them too tight, I can go and I can drag this down the line, and that sharp little notch actually will scribe the line on how far I got to take that metal back. So I usually set them too tight, that way I got metal to work with, and then go on from there. And then after you're done grinding it, you know, you can just 80 grit, and it looked pretty good. Put some epoxy primer on it. The bottom part of this door, you can see how the door kind of goes to meet the quarter. It's not actually the door that's doing that, it's the quarter that's doing that. So I'm gonna cut a little slot in the quarter, and I'll move that edge back a little bit, because I'd rather have the door edge perfectly straight and the quarter edge perfectly straight. So some of it you can move different things around. You just try to think ahead a few steps, like, you know, on most things when you're building these cars. But yeah, so this trunk lid, you can see I got it really tight, so it's probably like about an eighth inch right now. See, this is 3/16, so it kind of gives you an idea. And then if I wanted to put some Dykem dye on this, and I take this tool and I scratch it like that, that'll give me my perfect 3/16 if I were to grind to that scribe line. And I do that all the way around. So like up here, this is actually touching, but the gap's good right here. So I'm actually going to grind this back. It's going to start splitting, but you need to grind it back further than you need. That way when you go to weld it and you grind it, it's not going to split again, because you've actually taken it back a little bit further than you need to when you grind and you weld. And this, I had to take the porta power and push the quarters up too inside the trunk, because these areas right here were down like, I don't know, probably maybe 3/16 or so, maybe a little bit, maybe almost a quarter. So there's a lot of modifications to go into just making it factory looking, you know. I mean, the gaps are going to be better than they were, of course, but they were so terrible with the aftermarket, it wasn't even close to what a factory would have been, you know, back in the day. And you can see this is coming across the back of the back window area. So this one is too wide. I'm trying to give you a vantage point here. And then this line, it actually is too thick, so I can shave it down a little bit. And this side, too tight, so I'll have to take that down. So at the end of this, the plan is to have basically a 3/16 gap all the way around the whole trunk lid, the doors, everything. These doors definitely need, I mean, I could really stick my thumb in these. I think I got the pictures. I'll try to put them in right here so you can see. But yeah, so you can see in those pictures how it's, you know, it was such a large gap. I mean, you can't let it ride like that, you know. That's terrible. And then when it's painted, the gaps will look kind of like this. On this white car I just did, I'll put those pictures right here. And you can see how nice those gaps are. And they actually look a little tighter because you get some material from painting, priming, and doing your body work. So you get a little bit of a mill thickness on that edge. Not much, because I sand after every coat on everything. I always try to keep the material low because it's less chance of failure, you know. But I just want to post this video and see if hopefully it helps somebody out that's doing a restoration on one of these cars. I was actually gonna do a video on doing the body solder as well, aka the lead, and I made those videos and it was the same thing. I had issues, technical difficulties with the microphones, go figure. But you know, it's just how it goes, I guess. Just making some more firewalls and stuff. Like this one I just made a little something simple. This is a 69 Camaro with the LS engine in it, but you know, instead of putting the block off plate they sell for vintage air, and this firewall was kind of cruddy. It was easier just to make a new one and put it on than sit there and try and clean all the rust and everything that was on the old one. And it'll look nicer in the end result, you know. Well, that's it. That's gonna be it for this video. Stay tuned for some more videos. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you see. And if you got any questions, please hit me up. You know, leave a comment, questions, whatever. I'm pretty good about answering them. So.